Hello, hello, hi everyone. Am I audible? Can you hear me? And can you see the screen? Is anyone there? 19 people seem to be there, but no one is replying. So, am I really audible? Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Pradyumn, and today we will discuss the solutions to Codeforces round, which was Hello 2026, and we'll discuss the solutions for A to E. But before we do that, I will tell you about our courses at TLE Eliminators. So if you're someone who is stuck at solving just one or two problems per contest, our self-paced courses are exactly what you need. We have structured the program into 4 levels, so you can start from wherever you are: beginner, pre-intermediate, intermediate, or advanced. You will learn the most relevant CP concepts through recorded video lectures by experienced educators, followed by carefully curated practice problems, combined with guided hints and detailed video solutions that help you understand the why and not just the how. We believe in helping you build real intuition. And if you need more help, you will get instant doubt support from our high rate mentors, so you are never left stuck. And beyond just learning, you will enjoy gamified progress tracking, internal contests, PCDs, and leaderboards to keep you consistent. You can choose a level that fits your goals and start learning today. If you're someone like if you don't know how to choose a level, then you can watch this video, which will tell you that how to choose a level. And if you're still not sure, then you can explore the level specific video, which will tell you about the prerequisites, outcomes, difficulty, and objective of the course. All right. So without further ado, we'll get started with the PCD. So the first problem was A, binary array game. Alice and Bob are playing a game on an array A of size n, containing only numbers 0 and 1. Alice moves first, with each player alternating turns. In a player's turn, he or she chooses two integers L and R, such that L is less than R, and they are between 1 to length of A. Then the subarray AL to AR is replaced with a single number 1 minus minimum of AL to AR. That is, if all the numbers in subarray are 1, then the subarray is replaced with 0. Otherwise, the subarray is replaced with 1. The game ends when there is exactly one number left in the array. Alice wins if the final number is 0. Otherwise, Bob wins. Please determine who wins if they play the game with optimally. Okay, so it is a pretty easy problem. Now they are saying that we have an array which is either containing only 0 or 1. Like every element is either 0 or it is 1. So an array is there, right? And what Alice can do is, like, either one of them, whoever turn it is, they can choose a subarray of length at least 2. Okay, and if in that subarray all the numbers are 1, they will delete that and replace it with 0, right? And if any one number is 0, like at least one number, let's say if Alice chooses this subarray, okay, then she will delete this and replace it with 1. Or I mean, whoever chooses this subarray has to replace it with 1. So this is the operation that they can do. They can select a subarray of length at least 2 and replace it with whatever other thing is, that either, like, if there's a 0, then the entire subarray gets replaced with 1, and if there are all ones in the subarray, then it gets replaced with a 0, right? And finally, Alice wants that finally in the array 0 should remain, and Bob wants that in the array 1 should remain, right? Like after doing all of this, finally only one element would remain, right? Because the length is decreasing. Like you choose a array of length at least 2 and replace it with only a 1 number, so the length decreases, right? So eventually it will get to 1, the length will become 1, and so finally the number, if it is 0, then Alice wins, and if it is 1, then Bob wins. Okay, So okay, so the first move is of Alice, right? So first of all, Alice wants 0, right? So how can you make 0? Like, if the subarray removed has only ones, then the number we can place is 0. So like, first moves of Alice, right? So if the initial array is like this, 1 1 1 1, like all ones, right? Then Alice can simply choose the entire array, right? She can choose L equals to 1, R equals to N, and in that case Alice would win, like, because she can replace this entire array with just 0, right? And since the last number is 0, Alice wins. Okay, so if all ones, then Alice wins, right? If all ones, then Alice wins. Okay, now what else can she do? Like, she wants to ensure that the 0 comes at the end, right? Like, finally, if there's only one number left, it should be 0, right? So like, if there's an array which is not all ones, like let's say we have 0 1 0 1 1 0, let's say this is the array, so this is not all ones. So if Alice chooses L equals to 1 and R equals to N, then this would get replaced with 1, and in that case Bob would win, right? So Alice won't do that. Like, Alice will not replace the entire array with just 1, right? Alice won't do that. But what can Alice do? Because she wants to win, right? So what can she give Bob? Like, now I'm thinking that, what can she give Bob? Like, should she what should she make the array? What should she make the array so that Bob is forced Bob is forced to make it 0? Okay, this is my thought process. That basically, okay, the first case is if all the elements in the array are 1, then Alice would win, right? But what if they are not all 1? Then if Alice chooses the entire array, then it would get replaced with a 1, and Bob would win. So Alice won't do that. But it is Alice's turn now, right? So what should she do? What should she do so that Bob has no choice but to lose? Right? Okay. Like, what should she do so that Bob is forced to make a 0 at the end? That's the thing. Okay. So, like, how do we force Bob to make this 0? What should Alice convert this array into so that Bob is forced to make it 0? Can you tell me? 1 1. Yes. If Alice gives Bob 1 1, like, I don't know how, like, in this case, she can choose this sub-array and she can give Bob 1 1. And then Bob will have no other option. Like, he'll have to choose this LNR and then convert it 0, right? So basically, what we'll try to do is Alice will try to give Bob 1 1, because Alice cannot make 0, right? We know that Alice can't make 0, right? That is out of question. So what Alice will do now is she will try to make 1 1. Alice will try to make the array 1 comma 1, right? So if the initial array is such that Alice can make 1 1, then Alice will do that, and then Bob will have to convert it to 0, and then Alice will win, right? Because there is no other move, right? For 1 1, there is no other move that Bob can do. He has only one option, but to make it 0. So Alice will win. right? So basically, if initial array if initial array is convertible to 1 1, then Alice wins. Okay. So what arrays are convertible to 1 1? Like first of all, the array does not contain all ones, right? Like first of all, the base case is that all ones array Alice will win. We know that. But if it has at least a zero, like all ones wala case we have covered. But so now the array has at least one zero, right? So if the array has at least one zero, then what is the condition that Alice can make 1 1? This array. So like she wants to just do a sub array such that only two elements remain, right? Like initially, let's say there are n elements. There are n elements, but after the operation, she wants that only two elements should remain. So what can she do? Like either she will do the operation on this subarray, so this one element and this element would remain, or she would do it on this subarray, right? Okay. So um, if she does it on this subarray, then this element would be the same. Like if it is a1 initially, then after doing the operation also it would remain a1, and here something new would come, right? But Alice wants to make it 1 1, right? So if she is doing the operation here, then she has to ensure that the element is 1. Okay, this element is 1, right? So if it is 0, then Alice cannot do this operation, because then 1 1 would not be made, right? And let's say if there is 0 here, then the only option Alice has is to convert this and hope that this is a 1, right? Like if this is a 1 and this is a 0, then Alice can still convert this part and basically win this game, because it will get converted into 1 1, right? So basically either this number, like either the first number or the last number should be 1, right? if both are 0 if both are 0, then you cannot convert this array into 1 1, right? So basically, if a of 0 is 1 or a of n minus 1 is 1, then array is convertible to 1 1. Then array is convertible to 1 1, because we know that there's at least one 0, right? Like let's say if I know that there's a 1 here, then regardless of whatever, irrespective of whatever else it is, I can just do this operation, and I know there is at least one 0 here. Because if they were all ones, then we have already handled that case previously. In that case, Alice would win directly. So if there is a 1 here, then it is convertible to 1 1. And or if there is a 1 here, then also it is convertible to 1 1. Right? So if a0 is 1 or a minus 1 is 1, then array is convertible to 1 1. Right? And then Alice would win. Then Alice would win. Right? But now, what about the other cases? What about the other cases? That is, what if um, what if the array is not convertible to 1 1? Like if the first element is 0 and the last element is also 0. So in that case, what would happen? Like we have proved that in all the other cases, Alice wins, right? But we haven't thought about this case yet. That who will win in this case? So let's think about that. So basically, Alice has to choose some subarray, right? Like either she chooses the entire subarray, but in that case it becomes 1 and she loses, right? Alice would lose, so she will not choose the entire subarray. So she would choose some part of it, right? She would choose some part of it, let's say this part, and she will replace it with 1. But this 0 is still there, right? And if you give Bob an array which has a 0, then Bob is very happy. Like he will simply do the operation on the entire array and make it 1, and he will win. Okay. Like basically, if we give Bob if we give Bob an array having 0, then he wins, right? So we cannot give him any array having 0, right? But if the initial array is this only, if the initial array has 0 at the beginning and 0 at the end, then there is no way that we don't give him a 0. Like whatever we do, we will definitely give him a 0. Like because either this one would be left out or this one would be left out of the operation, or we do the entire thing. In that case also we lose, right? So in all of these cases, Bob will win. So if it starts with a 0 and ends with a 0, then Bob wins. Okay. So that is the solution. Like if all ones, then Alice wins. If start element is 0 and the ending element is 0, then Bob wins. Otherwise Alice wins. Or actually we don't even need this condition. I can just say that if the first element is 0 and last element is 0, then Bob wins. Otherwise Alice wins. Right? Because this condition is included in that condition, right? Like if all ones are there, then this won't be true. Okay. So that is the condition. You can simply verify also that if the array starts and ends with 0, then Bob wins, otherwise Alice wins. So Alice, Bob, Alice, and Bob, right? Correct answer. So I'll just show. Okay. Any doubts? Like we have to also prove that Bob is winning in that case. Yeah, the code chef contest discussion will be uploaded recorded video. Like by tomorrow morning or afternoon, they will upload the recording of the discussion on YouTube. Let's see the code. Code is nothing. It's just some conditions. So I did three if else, but you just need two. Like you don't even need this. What I did was if count of 1 is equal to n, then print Alice. If first element is 0 and last element is 0, then print Bob. Otherwise, print Alice. Okay. So it is fine. I think this is enough explanation. So I'll move on to the next one now, which was B. Now B was pretty good problem. Like even I was stuck for quite a lot of time, and finally, I also guessed the answer. Okay, I didn't know why it is correct, but yeah, now I understand why it is correct. So let's understand it together. So yeah, the problem is that we have been given an array a1, a2, a3 up to an, and also an integer k. Okay, which is less than or equal to n. Now what we can do is we can perform the operations. We have to perform the operations um, as long as the length of array is greater than or equal to k. Okay, like what we have to do is we have to select a subarray of length k such that its max is maximum over all subarrays of length k. Okay, that is what we have to do. We have to select a window of size k such that among all windows of size k, the window we selected has a maximum max. If multiple windows exist, then we can select any of them, right? Then you must yeah, okay. So we found out a subarray of length k having maximum max, right? And I think you all should know what is max. I won't explain that. So we got the window. Let's say L comma R. This is the window where R is equal to L plus k minus one. Like the length of this window is k, right? And then what we can do is we have to select one index in this range. Between L to R, we have to select an I. Okay. And we have to delete AI from the array. Okay. So we have to do this operation, and doing it once decreases the length by 1, right? So eventually the length will become k minus 1. And then of course we cannot find a subarray of length k. So at that point we stop. And finally we want to maximize the max of this final array of length k minus 1. Like we want to maximize the max of this final array. Okay. So like for example, we have 0, 0, 0, or let's take a better example, 0, 2, 1, 3. 0, 2, 1, 3, and k is equal to 2. So we have to find a subarray of length 2. So this subarray of length 2 has max equals to 1, right? Then this subarray has 0, and this subarray has 0. So maximum max is 1, and it is coming by this subarray. So we have to select this. Okay, we have to select this subarray, and we have to select any index in this subarray to delete. So if I want to maximize the max, then of course I won't delete 0, right? Because if I delete a 0, then my max would become 0 finally, and that is bad. So I will delete 2. Okay, so the array becomes 0, 1, 3, right? So now there are two subarrays of this size. Like this subarray, it has max equal to 2, and this subarray which has max equals to 0, right? And so we have to choose this subarray, we have to choose this subarray, and we have to delete some element. So if I delete this 0, okay, my bad, k was, yeah, k was equal to 2, right? So if we delete 0, then our max would turn out to be 0 at the end. So I won't delete 0, I will delete 1, right? So 0 comma 3 remains, and now there is only one subarray of size k, and we have to select either this number or this number. So I'll delete this number. So the array becomes 0, and the max, like, so it has become of size k minus 1. So now the process stops, and the max of this is 1, and 1 is the maximum possible max that we can make. Okay, so that is the problem that we have to solve. We have to output the maximum value of the max, right? So is the problem clear? I think it should be clear. Like what it is asking, it should be clear. So let me ask you one thing. Okay, like this problem is very complicated. Like it seems so complicated that we can only choose a subarray, which is we can only choose a subarray, which is like having the maximum max out of all of those, and then we delete one element, and then after deleting we join the two halves together. So like many things are many things are going on here, right? So it is very hard to think about that. But let's say the problem was a bit simplified. Like right now the constraints are that we can only select um, like basically what are we doing? We are simply taking the array, like we have the array, right? And then we are choosing some index and then deleting it, right? We are deleting some elements one by one. Like what elements we can delete, that is restricted. We cannot delete every element, but that's what we are doing. We are deleting some elements, and we are deleting the elements until the array length becomes k minus 1, right? But what we can delete has been restricted in the problem statement, right? We are not free to delete anything. My point is that the problem is basically that we have to delete some indices. That is, we have to delete n minus k plus 1 elements out of the array, and finally k minus 1 elements would be remaining. and we have to maximize the max. We have to maximize the max of that, right? Like finally, k-1 elements would remain, and we have to maximize the max of that. So what I'm saying is essentially we are deleting only, right? Even though the operation that we can do, like we cannot delete everything. We cannot delete everything in the array. We can only delete certain elements, like which are part of the maximal subarray, right? Like here 0 to 1 3 we have, right? 0 to 1 3. So this subarray has the maximum max, right? So we cannot delete 1 or 3. Even if we want to do that, we cannot delete that. So um, that is the thing. But my point is, this question is just delete some indices and then maximize the max of the remaining ones. So let's say if the problem was just this, like let's just change the problem. I mean, simplify the problem, try to solve the simplified one, and then try to solve this one. Okay. Like let's say that we were not constrained. If we were not constrained that we have to only choose this kind of index, which is a part of the maximal max subarray. If we could choose any index, if we could choose any index in the array, then what is the answer? Then what's the answer? Just answer this. Okay. Like let me I'm asking you this, that if you want to delete n minus k plus 1 indices or elements from the array, and we can choose any of them, then what is the final maximum max that we can get? uh, those who could not solve b, only they answer please, because those who did solve b, they already know the answer to this. So can you guys tell me that basically if we have been given an array, and like we can delete any elements, we have to basically delete all elements but minus 1. Like we have to in the end keep k minus 1 elements alive and maximize the max of them. So what is the maximum, like what is the answer in that case? How do you find the answer in that case? Smallest number possible? Not really. Like let's say you have, okay, I'll let someone else try. Like largest k minus 1 elements deletion. uh, like actually you need to delete n minus k plus 1 elements, and but okay, I guess you are saying that we should delete the largest n minus k plus 1 elements, right? So I think that might be correct. Wait, that is not necessary to be correct. No, that is not also correct. Duplicates first. Yeah, duplicates and largest, exactly. So we will first remove duplicates. Like first of all, some people were saying that we should delete the largest elements first, right? So let me give you this test case: 1 1 2 2, right? And let's say if k is equal to, I mean, let's say you need to delete, you need to delete uh, 5 elements, right? So what you guys would do is you would delete 1 2 3 4 5 largest elements, and the max would become 1, right? But instead of that, what you can do is you can, sorry, not 5, 4 elements. Okay. So what you can do is you can delete 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now 0 1 and 2 are left. 0 1 and 2 are left. And so the answer is 3. The max is 3, right? Yeah, so just remove copy and some maximum values. Okay. Uh, Smallest k minus 1 values, like if you don't count duplicates, then that is fine. Like, yeah, that this is the correct solution, that you would basically you would remove the duplicates, remove duplicates first, and then remove larger values, then remove the larger values, right? So actually, what I can say, like, what is the final answer? The final answer, I can actually say that it is the mix of the entire array, mix of the entire array, comma k minus 1. Like, it is the smaller value of these two, minimum. Like, if my final length of the array is k minus 1, then for this problem, my answer is minimum of max of a comma k minus 1. That is, let's say we have this thing 0 0 0 1 1 2 2. Like, k minus 1 is just the maximum, like, final length, right? Final length of the array. So let's say for this test case, I want to make the final length equal to 5. Okay. Like, if I want to reduce this 5 to 5 elements, so what I will do is, in my final array I will have some 0 1 and 2, and actually I have only 0 1 and 2, right? So I don't have any other element, so I will need to have one more occurrence. Like, I'll have to have two more occurrences of either 0 1 or 2, but that will still make my max equal to 3. Like, of course I cannot make my max more than 3, right? Because in my original array I don't have a 3. Like, in my original array max is equal to 3, right? So that's why I am taking the max of a, and of course I am taking min with the length, because let's say, if for this case, like, let's say in this case, the final length that I wanted to make, like, the initial array is same, but final length I wanted to be 2. Final length is 2. Okay. Then I would just save 0 and 1, right? Because I cannot have more than that elements. So the max is 2. Okay. I cannot make more than, I cannot make max more than 2 if I have only two elements, right? So that's why I'm taking the minimum with final length also. So, like, the answer for my problem that I gave you, simplified problem, is basically the minimum of max of the original array, comma final length, right? So do you guys get this? How I got this answer? Yes, I am explaining that. Like, I did not say that it is the answer for this problem that was in the contest. I just said that this is the answer for the problem that I gave you. Okay, that's what I'm telling you right now. Even though the answer is correct for the problem that is in the contest as well, but we'll get to that later. Okay, yeah, that is okay. So now, basically, this is the answer for my simplified problem. Like, do you all get this? Why my simplified problem has this answer? Like, do you all understand why this problem that I gave you, that we can remove any elements? If we could remove any indices, then what is the answer? So in this case, the answer is this. So do you all understand why this is the answer? Okay. So this guy got it. What about the others? Okay. So I'm assuming that everyone got this. Why the answer to my problem is this. But now I will tell you that if we know this answer, then we can actually get this answer using the operations that are given in this problem as well. Like, um, this is the problem, right? This is the problem, and basically my claim is, My claim is, see, first of all, do you all understand that the answer, the answer to the code forces problem will definitely be less than equal to the answer to my problem. Like what I am saying is that um, since like in my problem we can select any indices, right? And in this CF problem we can only select a particular set of indices. So of course the answer to that CF problem would be worse than my answer, right? That's always true. Like it can never happen that the answer to this one is better than the answer to mine, because in that case we can simply do the operations that they are doing. Like if they are deleting some indices and getting max equals to 4, then we can also get max equal to 4 by doing the same operation, right? So this is the fact that answer to the CF problem is definitely less than equal to the answer to my problem, right? So, and I know the answer to my problem. Like I know that this is the answer to my problem, right? So basically, I have an upper bound for this answer to CF problem. Like I know that the final answer for the CF problem is definitely less than equal to mean of k minus 1, comma max of a. Like whatever is the max of a and k minus 1, the final answer would definitely be less than equal to that. Or I can say that the final answer is less than equal to k minus 1. Like I can say this, right? The final answer is definitely less than equal to k minus 1, right? Because if max of a is greater than k minus 1, then this min would give k minus 1. And if it is smaller, then it is smaller than that, right? So I can say this. Final answer is less than equal to k minus 1, right? That is, I want to make the max, I want to ensure, like, okay, final answer is less than equal to k minus 1. So basically, like, now I can give you the examples. Okay, like let's say we have the samples right here. Just give me some big sample, like, or okay, I will do it for you. Okay, let's say 0, 1, 2, 4, 0, 3, 1, 0, 1, 2, 4, 0, 3, 1, and here k is equal to 5, right? So final length would be k minus 1, which is 4, right? And the max of this array is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5, right? So final answer, my final answer would definitely be less than equal to min of 5 comma 4, which is 4, right? So my answer cannot be more than 4, right? And now what I can do is what I'll do is I will select a subarray. I will select a subarray having the maximum max, and I have to delete one element from that, right? So okay, I will select this subarray. Let's say I'll select this subarray because this has the max as 3. Or actually, I can select this one because it has a max of 5, right? And then I have to delete an element, right? But what I know is that the answer, the answer that is the maximum max, like finally, after everything is done, the maximum max is definitely less than equal to 4, right? So in this subarray, if I delete this 4, I will never face consequences because I know that in the end, whatever happens, I can never get a max more than 4, right? Like this 4 is like always definitely, this 4 will definitely not help because if my max is 4, then this 4 will not be there. And if it is less than 4, like if max is 3, let's say, then having this 4 wouldn't help anyways, right? So I can always delete this 4, right? Like basically, if I know that my answer, if I know that my answer is less than equal to k minus 1, like I know this, right? So I can delete anything which is at least k minus 1, and I won't face any consequences, right? Because the elements that are making my answer k minus 1, they are all less than k minus 1, right? That is the main observation here. The main observation here is that to make max equals to make the max equal to x, the only useful elements the only useful elements are less than x, right? Useful as in the elements which are making the mix x, right? So if I have a subarray and I want to delete some element from it, I can simply delete that element which is greater than equal to that x, which is k minus 1. Like, since I know that my final mix would turn out to be less than equal to k minus 1, I can simply delete the element which is greater than equal to k minus 1, and that will not harm me, right? Like, at every step I want to delete an element, right? At every step I will select some subarray of size k and I will delete uh, the element. I have to delete one element, right? So what I can simply do is find an element, choose an element which is greater than equal to k minus 1 and delete it. And that will not cause any harm because my final answer I know is less than equal to k minus 1, right? That is one thing. But you will ask that what if this subarray does not contain any element which is greater than equal to k minus 1, right? Like, what if this subarray doesn't contain an element which is greater than equal to k minus 1? Then what we will do? Then what you are saying is that this subarray contains only the elements 0 to k minus 2. Like, all the elements in this subarray are between 0 to k minus 2, right? And so how many numbers are there between 0 to k minus 2? There are total k minus 1 numbers. Like 0, 1, 2 up to k minus 2, there are total k minus 1 numbers. So you are saying that in this subarray of length k, all the numbers are between 0 to k minus 2. Then what should we delete? So what I am saying is that since all the numbers are in this range, and there are only k minus 1 distinct numbers in this range, and the length is k, therefore at least one duplicate number must be there in this array, right? For example, if this k is um, if this k is equal to 4, right, and you are saying that there is no element which is greater than equal to 3, if there's some element is greater than equal to 3, then you can simply delete that. And if there's no element which is greater than equal to 3, then there are only elements 0, 1 and 2. So if there are only 0, 1 and 2, then of course either one of them is repeated, like at least one of them is duplicate. So you can simply delete that. You can simply delete the duplicate element and your max won't be affected because there is the other one which is controlling that, right? So that's how you can ensure, like, that is how you can do the operations and ensure that your max is maximum possible. And finally, this would be your answer: min of k minus 1 comma max of a. Okay, that is the entire solution. Like, you can always choose an index which is either greater than equal to k minus 1 or it is duplicate in the subarray, right? Yeah, exactly. Can I do this? Delete element, start with max, then second max up to k minus 1 times, and then see whatever elements is in array among them and see max and return it. Like when you see max, when you see second max, then you should not, um, like, first of all, this might be correct if you are careful. Okay. What about checking condition of largest max window? Like, see, what I am saying is, no matter what sub-array you choose, like, see, you have some array, right? You have this array 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, right? And you have to choose a sub-array having maximum max, right? So here either this one or this one would be there, right? But what I am saying is that no matter what you choose, like even if you choose this sub-array, no matter which sub-array you choose, you will always find either an element greater than equal to k minus 1 or an element which is duplicate, right? Like here in this subarray, if you see, the k is equal to 3, right? So you are getting an element which is greater than equal to 3, right? So you can delete that because you know that your final answer is definitely less than equal to 2. So having a 2 would not benefit you in any way. So you can simply use the strategy that either find an element which is duplicate or find an element which is greater than equal to k minus 1. And if you keep doing this, then you will eventually reach this answer. Like you will eventually reach to this answer, which is the min of k minus 1, comma max of a, right? And so for the CF problem, like, so finally you can simply print this value, right? Like you can simply print this answer. This is the answer. You don't need to simulate the operations, right? You don't need to find the array every time and delete from it. You can simply print this answer because what they are asking you to do is just print the final maximum max value, right? And that is this thing only. The answer is this. The answer is this, and all of this is just the proof of why that is the answer, right? Store in set, then after deleting max, the second max will be max, go up to k minus 1, then c max. It's, I guess, not necessary that it is correct because let's say if you have k is equal to 5, so your k minus 1 is 4, so you will do it one time on this, so you will delete the maximum element and you will get the max which is 3. But what you could have done is you would have deleted the 1, so in that case you would get max 4. So first you have to delete duplicates and then you have to delete. Okay, you are putting in set. So are you checking that size of set is k minus 1, or are you doing it n minus k plus 1 times irrespective of that? Like I think, okay, let's move on to, okay, I'll show the code quickly. Then I will move on to the C problem. Okay. Yeah, this is the code. Int nk, scene nk, and then to find the max, I just inserted the elements. Like I just inserted all the elements from 0 to n into the set, because the max of n elements cannot be greater than n, right? So I just inserted all the numbers in a set, and I deleted those numbers which are in the array. Like I erased those numbers which are in the array, and finally, so the max would be the first element which is in the array, in which is in the set, right? Like the element which was not deleted, that is not in the array. So the smallest element is s dot begin, that is the max. So I just print min of k minus 1 comma s dot begin. Okay, all right. So this was B. I'll move on to C now. Hmm. A war has broken out. You, as the country's top general, must strategize where to place your troops. There are n bases in a line, with the kth of which being the home base for an army. Initially, there is only a single soldier at base K. Each day, the following happens in order. You give out an order by choosing a base I and any number of soldiers inside that base, which is allowed to be 0 or all soldiers. Then tell all soldiers you ordered to either move to base I minus 1 or to base I plus 1. All soldiers must move in the same direction, and no soldier is allowed to move to the left of the base 1 or right of the base n. Then a new soldier moves on to base K. This soldier cannot be ordered by that day's commands. However, time is tight and there's only m days until the enemy attacks. A base is called fortified if at least one soldier resides in it. Your job is to find the maximum number of fortified bases that you can have by the end of the mth day. Okay, so the problem is very simple, that you have like 1 to n, there are some camps or bases, right? So 1, 2, 3 up to n, and your home is base k. So what happens is every day, first what you will do is you will give an order. You will give an order, and second, one more soldier will appear on base k. Will appear on the base k, right? So basically here on this base you are cooking the soldiers, like you are training them, and then you can send them out to protect your territory, right? And initially there's only one, there is one soldier there, right? So on the first day, let's say you will tell this soldier to move somewhere, let's say. So let's say you tell him to move here, so he'll move here, and then what will happen is, one more soldier will arrive on the base K. So this is the condition after day one. So either this could be there, or maybe you tell nothing, like maybe you tell zero soldiers to move there. So like initially one was there and you did not move anything, so one more soldier came here, so there are two now. So this also could be the end of day one, or you could move to the right and there's one more soldier here. So there are three possibilities for the ending of day one, right? And then similarly, on the second day, either you can tell this person to move right, or or to move left, or you can tell this person to move right or to move left, right? So this is what you can do, and yeah, after that one more will spawn here. So if you don't tell this one, then it will become two, right? So anyways, this is what is happening, and we have to like optimally do the things such that after m days maximize the number of secure bases. Okay, this is what we have to do, and we have to print the maximum number, that what is the maximum number of secured bases. So how do we do this? Like, this kind of sounds like a tough problem, and it is kind of tough. Like, for me at least, it was kind of difficult as compared to other div 2 cs, or maybe it was because I was not in form today. But anyways, let's. I will tell you one by one that what I thought about this problem. Okay. So first of all, let's say this is the base case where the training is happening and one soldier spawns every day, right? So actually, um, let's say you train the soldier and you move it here. Then one more soldier comes here, and then next day you move this one also here, right? So I thought that there is no point in doing this, right? Like moving them one by one, there is no point because what you could have done is you could have waited. You could have waited um, for one day, and let's say like initially there was one only, right? Initially there was one soldier only. You could have waited on that day, and so they would become two, and then you would move both of them on this side, and that would give the same effect. That would give you the same effect that it does if you do it one by one, right? So there is no point in doing it one by one because maybe you could spend that move in something else, right? Because every day you can only do a single move operation, right? So my point is that if right now you are doing this, and in future also, if you are doing this, then it is not necessary. Like just do it in the future. Okay, that is one idea. Okay, but still it is not very clear that how we should distribute them. Like if we have m days, then how do we maximize the amount of camps that we can do? Now, first of all, we have to notice that the n is given to up to 1e5 only. Like the constraints on n are that it is up to 1e5, and sum of n is also 2e5 only. So basically, we can do O of n also. Like even though the input is O of 1, but they are allowing us to do O of n solutions, right? So we will think in that direction. Okay. So yeah, now basically the problem is that we have m days and we can start from this index, and we have to maximize the number of camps where there's at least one soldier, right? Now of course you can see that the camps would be a contiguous segment around my home base, right? Like the fortified camps, that is the camps where there's at least one soldier, it would be some contiguous segment. Like this would not happen that this would never happen that there is one soldier here but no soldiers here. Like this is not fortified but this is fortified. So this would never happen in optimal case because we are just spending extra move and doing nothing. Like always uh, keeping 0 here and 1 here is better than keeping 1 here and 0 here because this would take one extra move, right? So always in optimal case, my fortified bases would be a contiguous segment around myself, right? So maybe in O of n, maybe I can try some sliding window or something. Like I don't know. Like I was thinking about it that maybe we can try some sliding window and find out that how much time, like what is the minimum amount of time that I will take if I want to fulfill this entire region. Okay, like if I want to fully fill or basically fortify every base in this camp, that is on every base there should be a soldier. So how many minimum number of days would I need to do that? Okay, so that is what I'm thinking about right now. Like for a given contiguous segment, what is the minimum amount of time to fortify all bases in that segment, right? So let's say that I'll use some numbers. Okay, so let's say um, I have k here, this is my home base, and I want that these six bases, like three here, one my home base and two here, these should be fortified, Okay, then what is the best way to do that? That's my question. So initially there is one guy here. So if I want to fortify these three and these two, then what is the best way to do that? So intuitively, it is very obvious that you can simply like see you want three bases here to be fortified, right? So you can first cook three soldiers here. I mean, not cook them, like train them. Okay. So you can train three soldiers here. Like you can wait for 2 more days and train three soldiers here and then send them one by one like this. Okay. And meanwhile, soldiers are still cooking right here and you can send them there. That is the main idea. Like that is the thing that seems optimal. Like इससे बेटर क्या ही कर सकते हो तुम? Like if you want to fortify these bases, like you want a soldier here and you also want a soldier here, then like the best you can do is this only, like wait for 2 days, then send these three and send these two here. Like I'll simulate this for you. Like let's say this is the these six bases I want to populate, and initially there's only one, so this is day zero. This is the end of day zero. So we will wait for 1 day and we'll wait for one more day, right? And then we will send them out. Like this is day one, this is the end of day two. Like these three soldiers came at the end of day two, right? So on day three, what we will do, we will send them. We will send them to the left like this, and here one more will spawn, and rest there are zero. Then the next day we will send two of them to the left, right? So one will remain here and two will go here, and there is a one here, so one more will spawn, so two will become right, and then we will shift this here. So one one one, and we have three here and dash dash, right? And now we already have enough cooked for to send to the right, correct? So we will send them towards the right. Okay. So we have one one one, and actually we only need to send two. So I will send two here, and one will remain, and actually one more will get cooked at the end of the day. So there are two now. Then the next day, one one one, it will become three, and I'll send this one to the right. So one one, right? So this is the final configuration. And how many days it took? Like this was day one, day two, three, four, five, six, and seven. So it took 7 days to like make six soldiers, right? So this is this test case right here. Like in this test case, you had like 7 days, right? And you could make six soldiers. Okay. So yeah, this is the optimal way to fill this. Like if you know that you need to fill three elements on the left and two on the right, then you can determine that what is the optimal way to do that. Like you will wait for L days. Like let's say, now let's generalize this. Like we saw how to optimally play this, but what is the formula? Like let's try to derive the formula. So let's say if you have this is the K. Let's say you want to populate L uh, bases here and R bases here. Okay. So first what you will do is you will wait for L minus 1 days, right? Because you want to make L soldiers here. So initially there's one soldier here, and so you will wait for L minus 1 more days so that there are L soldiers here, right? So you will wait for L minus 1 days to cook them, right? Then you will send them one by one. So like to send the last soldier, it will take L days, right? Like here, as you can see, it took like on this day I had cooked them, and it took 3 more days. Like this day, and this day, it took to send them till the end, right? So it will take L more days, but meanwhile, parallelly, there is some cooking happen. Like there is some cooking also happening in our base, right? Like we are shifting these soldiers, but meanwhile, parallelly, there is some cooking happening, and we can use that cooking to send them to the right side, right? So if we want to populate R, like in the right side, we want to populate R blanks. So how many soldiers will we need for that? We'll need R soldiers, right? We'll need R soldiers on this on our base camp, right? So we will need to wait at least R more days. Like you can see that here. Um, you can see that first we waited for 2 days, this day and this day, and made L soldiers right here. Then we want 2 soldiers for right side also, so we'll have to wait 2 more days also. But actually, to send all the elements to the left side also, we'll have to wait L days. So actually, you can say that max of L comma R. Are you getting it? Like L days, so we will take to send the troops finally to the left side, right? And also we need to wait at least R days, so that at least our soldiers are cooked in our base camp. So finally, we have to basically wait max of L comma R days, and then we can shift these to the right side. Okay. So L minus 1 for the initial cooking of the left hand side soldiers. Then we'll have to wait L days to send them towards the left, but also R days to cook the right hand side ones. So max of L comma R. Max of L comma R. So in this time, all the R soldiers would be cooked, and then we'll spend R more days to like shift them like this. Okay. So if you want to fortify, like this is the answer. Like if you want to fortify, L bases to the left, R to the right, and 1 in the middle, then you will have to this is the minimum amount of time that you will take. Okay. And also this middle one will automatically be occupied, like when you do the last move here. So one more soldier would get cooked here. So we don't need to worry about this. It would be occupied only. So this is the answer. Like this is the minimum amount of time required if you want to like populate this L and R respectively. Okay. So now how do you like find the answer now? Like okay, so do you guys get till here? Do you guys understand how this came? Do you all get till here? Just tell me. Thanks, man. Yeah, COC, exactly. Why max of L comma R plus R? Okay, so I will show one example. Let's say your L is 2, R is 4. So this is your base camp. There are 4 elements, 4 blanks here and 2 blanks here. So initially there's only one. Then you will have to wait for 1 more day to cook one more soldier. So 2. Then you will send them, right? You will send them. So these are the 2 days. Like this is okay. This day is not counted. It is the initial day, 0th day. Then this is the L minus 1 days. L minus 1 days which you spend for training, right? Then you will send them. So you will send 2 here, and one more would be cooked here. Then you will send one, and one more would be cooked here. Okay, so now you have completed the L. Like this is the L, right? But actually, you need to send four soldiers to the right? So you will need to cook two more here. So you will need to wait for 2 more days. So like it would look like 113 and 00 and 114. So only after the 2 days you have four soldiers here. So basically this much is R. Are you getting me? Like since R was 4, you needed four soldiers here. And so after the initial cooking, you had to wait R more days to get four soldiers. But also, um, you cannot do operation on multiple things. Like while you are moving the elements to the left side, you cannot move others to the right side as well. Like you cannot do on the same day. So you will have to wait for L also. Like this initial L minus 1 is fine. Then after that, you took L days to shift them to the left side like this, right? And also parallelly this was cooking, but it took R days. So you will have to wait for the both of them, right? Like in this example, you can see. I'll show you what happens in this example. Like this was the example. So initially this was day 0. It is not counted. Then for L minus 1 days you waited, right? Then L days you took for transformation. But also this is R. Like if you see R is only these two. Like R is 2, right? R is 2. So these two soldiers were cooked while I was transforming these to the left side. So actually, I have to wait for this amount, like max of L comma R. That is why max of L comma R comes, and after that only I can do the R movements. Like what my point is that you cannot start from here. Like once you have cooked two soldiers, you cannot start moving them because you are still moving the left hand side, and you can only move one at a time. So that's why you will have to wait for max of L comma R. Okay. So that is fine, but that is not the question, right? The question is that we have been given n, m, and k, and we have to find the maximum number of troops. So now, how do we find that out? Like basically, we have solved the inverse problem, right? Like we have solved that if I have these many number of troops, then what is the minimum amount of time? But I want to find that if I have this many amount of time, then what is the minimum number of troops? I mean, maximum number of troops that I can make, right? Like if I have solved the inverse problem, then how do I solve the current problem? So actually, I can do binary search in the answer. Binary search on the answer, right? Like I will do a BS on this value that can I make can I make at least k camps, right? Or basically, can I fortify at least k camps? So if I want to check this, let's say if this is my question. So what I can simply do is I can find out the minimum time to, I mean not k, let's say mid. Like mid is some number. So I will ask myself that can I make at least mid number of camps? So how do I answer that? I can simply calculate the minimum amount of time required and check if m is greater than equal to that or smaller than that, right? Like if I have enough time to do that, then the answer to this question is yes. Otherwise, the answer is no, right? But actually, there is one problem, that this mid is the total number of camps, right? This mid is the total number, but we only have L and R. Like we have the formula in terms of L and R, right? Like if I have L on the left side and R on the right side, then only I have the formula for the minimum amount of time. But if I have the total length, then I can't say, because it might be anything for any break of L comma R. Like I don't know how to break L and R, right? Like let's say um, if I want to check that can I fortify, like what is the minimum time to get 7 folds, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So either I can have a, like either I can have all six on the right side, or I can have one on the left side, five on the right side, or I can have two on the left side, three on the right, four on the right side, right? And also it depends on that also. Like here they have said that um, we have only 1 to n. The camps are only from 1 to n, and our home is at k. Like in the input, let's say if n is equal to 5 and k is equal to 4, right? Then we cannot have, like let's say if we want to make 5 camps, then I can't do two on the left and two on the right, because hai nahi na, right? Mein two hai nahi. So what do I do? So to check the mid, I will use this O of n constraint. Like they have said that the sum of n is not more than 2e5. So I can do it in O of n. Like I will just check all the breaks of L and R. Like I'll check all the what do you say? All the possible combinations of L and R, such that L plus R plus 1. This is total length, right? Like we have L on the left, R on the right, and 1 is our khud ka. So I will check all of the L and R such that this value is equal to mid, and I'll find the minimum value of f of L comma R, where fl comma R is that value, L minus 1 plus max of L comma R plus R, right? And if this minimum value of this f is less than equal to my m, then I will update my binary search accordingly, right? That's how you can solve this. Like this is sliding window only. Like you have a camp right here on k, and from 1 to n you have this, and you are doing a binary search on the window length, right? So let's say for mid equal to 4, you are doing, so you will start with this window, then you will do for this window, then for this window, and then for this window, right? So this is what you can do. Like this is pretty standard, that sliding window, sliding window plus binary search on the length of sliding window, right? And that's you can solve it in n log n. Like n is for the sliding window and log n is for the binary search. Okay. When do we think about that? Like you can think about that when there is some monotonicity. Like if it is possible to do a based on the answer, then you can think about that. Don't understand the parting L and R part. You can simply check all of the possibilities of L and R. How many I solved? I solved in D2, and rank was not very good. It was around 1000 or 1100, I guess. No, 1400. Like my rating will drop definitely. Uh, like Abhay Raj Negi, Abhay Raj. So, what do you not understand? Like I don't get you. Can you like tell your doubt? Yeah, that is correct. But yeah, that is correct. But like there is some chances of wrong answer in that if you mess up. But yeah, you can do that. College, I am coming back on 11th. Very nice problem. Okay. After finding the bit, what are we doing exactly? Okay. Like let's say I'll do a dry run. Okay. Let's say my n is equal to 6, k is equal to 2. So here's my base camp. And let's say if you want to check mid is equal to 4. So mid equals to 4 means that is it possible for you to make at least 4 camps? That is the answer greater than equal to 4? Okay, that is your question. So how do you answer that? So if you have 4 camps, then of course either it is these 4, right, or it is these 4, right, or it is these. So no, it can't be these. Like either it would be these 4 or it would be these 4 only, because the base camp will always be in your contiguous portion, right? Like if you are making this, then you can make this one as well. So you don't need to check this one. So like you will either check this or you will check this. So let's say if you are checking this, then for this thing, L is equal to 1 and R is equal to 2, right? So the minimum amount of time that you will take to fill this portion would just be L, which is L minus 1 plus max plus R, right? So 1 minus 1 plus 2 plus 2, which is 4. So if you want to fill this region, you will take 4, right? Then you will check this region. You will check this region. So if you check this, then L is 0. Um, okay, L is 0. So that in that case, my formula I guess does not work, or does it? Let's say, I mean, it it was accepted. So let's say it works. So 0 minus 1 plus max of L comma R. Like here R is 3, L is 0. So 3 and plus 3. So you get 5. So like basically if you want to fill up this part, you are taking 4 days. And if you want to fill up this part, you are taking 5 days, right? So you will consider this thing. Like if you want to just fill 4 camps, of course you will fill up these 4, right? Because it's taking less time. And you will compare this with your M. Whatever is the M value, you will compare it, and accordingly like compare with 4. So you will just take the minimum across all the sliding windows, right? Yeah, equally only, but there are some edge cases, like because it's not always possible to place them equally, like because they have said that we have only 1 to n bases, and like we are at base k. So we have only a limited number of bases on our left and on our right. So it's not always possible to break them equally. But yeah, it is like you can do some casework and find out the optimal value. But if they're allowing if they're allowing O of n, then I just did O of n, because in that case mistake cannot happen, right? O of 1, okay, like that's, I guess, also possible. That might also be possible that, but I did not, I didn't think about that. Yeah, like it might work, but you have to handle some edge cases as well. Yeah, you can make cases. So I'll show the code. I guess enough on C. NMK, C and NMK. Low is equal to 1, high is equal to n. So this low and high, I'm basically doing a binary search on the number of camps. Okay. K minus minus because I'm doing it zero indexing. Okay. While low less than high, mid equals to low solution by 2. So I'll check for mid. And so I will iterate from L equal to 0, R equal to mid minus 1. Okay. And R is less than N, L plus plus, R plus plus. So like I want to ensure that my K is in the range of L to R, right? So I will ensure that. And so my left, like the number of elements on the left is K minus L and right is R minus K. And I like, so in that case the answer would be left minus 1 plus max of left comma right plus right. So I will take the minimum of that over all the possible values in this for loop. And if an is less than equal to n, then I can make this mid value. I can take this mid, make this mid value. So low equals to mid. Otherwise, high equals to mid minus 1. I'll have to search for lower, right? And then see out low. Okay, that's nice. So let's move on to the next one now. D1, D2. I'll take both of them. I'll take both of them at the same time. To be honest, D2 is just uh, the same as D1 only. And before that, I'll submit E. Like I could not solve E in the contest. I absolved it. So let's see if it accepted. I guess it is. It will be accepted. I guess. Anyways, let's solve D2 now. So in D2 or in D, you are given a rooted tree consisting of n vertices numbered from 1 to n, where the root has index 1, and each vertex is initially white. Define di as the distance from the root to the ith vertex. You can perform the operation any number of times. Choose a subset S of white vertices such that no two nodes in S are connected by an edge or have the same distance to node 1. Formally, uh, dx should not be equal to dy and there are no edges between x and y. And color the vertices in S black. Your job is to find the minimum number of operations required to color the full tree black and find a way to do the operations. Okay. So this is the problem, and it's not very hard, even though I got one wrong answer. But it is not very hard. Like according to the number of solves on this one, the problem is not that hard, if I be honest. Like even though there are only one these many solves, 1200 solves, but it is not that hard. I will tell you how to solve it. So we have a tree. Okay, we have a tree which is rooted at one. Like one is the root, and then we have some vertices which are its descendants, right? Okay, let's say this is the tree, and what they are saying is we have to color all of them black. Initially, they're all white, and we have to color them black. Okay, and in one move, like we can select any of the vertices and color them black. Like we can select a subset of vertices and color them black. But the only condition is that the distance of both like If I select some subset, let's say I select this one, and this one, so I can't do that because these two vertices are at same distance from one, right? So like if I make the tree rooted at one, these two vertices are at same depth, right? So I cannot color them in the same operation. Like so, in one move, I can select any subset of nodes such that all of them are at different depths, right? So from a single depth, I can only choose a single node and then color it black, right? And also, there's one more condition that I cannot have an edge between those two nodes. Like I cannot choose this set. So like even though I am only choosing one node from each depth, but these two nodes have an edge between them. So I cannot choose this set. I'll have to discard this or maybe like choose this one. So this is fine because every node at every level there's only a single node, at most one node, and also none of the nodes have an edge between them. Like between these two nodes, there's not an edge. Between these two nodes also there's an edge, and between these two nodes also there's not an edge. Okay, okay, my bad. I did not look at this edge. Between these two nodes, there's an edge, so I cannot color these two. So let's say I remove this. So this is fine, okay, because at each level I have at most one node, and I don't have any edges between those nodes, right? So you can do this, and we want to find out the minimum number of operations. Okay, so this is the problem, and the first thing in this problem to observe is that okay, let's say we have this tree only. So what is the answer for this tree? Let's try to think about that. So first of all, I have one claim that okay, since the since every at each level, like in one operation I can only color I can color only um, one node one node in each level right? Like from this level one node, from this level one node, from this one node, from this one node, and from this one node, right? So like I can only color at most one node from each level. So like you can see that this level has one node, this one has two nodes, this has three nodes, this has three nodes, and this has two nodes. So my point is that my answer is at least three, is greater than equal to three. Why? Because I can only color a single node in a level in one operation. So like if I want to color all of these three nodes, I'll have to use at least three operations because I cannot color any two of them in the same operation, right? So my point is the answer is at least greater than equal to maximum number of nodes, maximum number of nodes in a level, right? Over all levels, I'll find out the maximum number of nodes in that level, and the answer is at least that much, right? And one more thing is that like okay, this is one bound, right? Now look at some samples. Like let's look at this sample 3 4 4 1 5 1 1 2. So 1 2 1 4 1 5 and 4 3. So 1 2 1 4 1 5 and 4 3. So in this case we have three nodes, right? Like in this level we have one node, three nodes, and one node. So the answer is at least greater than equal to 3, right? So but what is the answer in this case? Like they have given the answer, this is test case 3, right? Test case 3, the answer is 4. Like we need 4 operations to color this tree. Like they are saying that we can't do it in 3, right? So of course I will not try to prove them wrong. I'll not try to color it in 3. But I'll understand why we can't do it in 3. Okay. So the thing is that look at this node and look at these 3 nodes. So since this node is a parent of all of these 3 nodes, I cannot color it if I am coloring any one of these 3, right? So basically, if you see these 4 nodes in total, you cannot color any 2 of them in the same move, right? You cannot color these 2 because they're in same level, these 2 because they're in same level, and also these 2 because they are parent and child. They have an edge between them. So like because this node has all these 3 children as its own. That's why um, the answer cannot be 3. Like I can't do it in 3 moves because in 3 moves I can only color this one, and this one. But then when will I do this one? So I can't do it in 3. So at least 4 I will need, right? So actually in 4 I'm able to do this only. Like in 4 moves I'm able to do this. Like it's pretty simple. Like let's say in the first move, let's say you do this one and this one, second move this one, third move this one, and fourth move this one, right? So in 4 moves you are able to do this, right? So the main issue was that like we thought the answer could have been 3 because there was maximum 3 nodes in a single level, but the answer was 4, and that's because a single node was the parent of all the nodes in that level, right? That's my point. Like these maximum number of nodes, all of these nodes, they have the same parent, right? And that is the issue. So the answer is 4. Now, is it possible to always do it in 4? Like how do we know that it's always possible to do it in one more than the minimum operation? Like let's say I counted the maximum number of nodes in a level, right? Let's say it is mx. Okay. So um, like either the answer is mx, right? Like basically the answer is definitely greater than equal to mx. That is what we know. And we also know that uh, if there is some node which has mx children, if it has mx children, then of course we cannot color all of these nodes in one move. So the answer is definitely at least mx plus 1, greater than equal to mx plus 1, right? But the question now is, can we do it in these many moves? Like we want to find the minimum, right? We found a lower bound, but is that lower bound tight? That can we do it in these many moves? And the answer is yes. And why? How do we know that? Because there are 10 samples, and in all 10 of them, this is working. Like I just coded this. I just coded this during the contest, and for all 10 samples, the solution is working. Like the answer is coming out to be correct, and that's why I just like in the problem D1. In problem D1, I just submitted this code, and it got accepted, right? So basically, I guessed that it is enough, right? The answer is correct. So that's how I solved D1. But why it is correct? Like basically, to prove why it is correct, we'll just have to construct the operations, right? Like we'll just have to construct the operations, and that I'll do in D2. But first, I will show the core of D1. Okay. So this is the core of D1, where I am just finding out the depth of every node. Like using DFS, I am finding out the depth of every node, right? And then I am keeping a count of every depth. Like this is a map from depth to number of nodes in the depth. So count of depth of I plus plus. And then I find the maximum count, right? And then I iterate over all the vertices that if the number of children, like this is basically the number of children of the node I, right? Because if I equal to 0, then I'll do adjacent I dot size. Like if I is the root, sorry, sorry, if I is the root, then the number of children are the number of edges, right? But if I is not the root, like let's say for this node, the number of children is the number of edges minus 1, right? So I just did this trick where adjacent I dot size minus not I. Like this is just some stupid code where if I is 0, then not I will change it to true, and again not will change it to 0. So finally it will turn out to be 0. So if I is 0, this is 0. And if I is non-zero, then this not I would be 0. And this not of not I would be true. And true gets converted to 1. If you do it like this, if you subtract true from something, true gets converted to 1. So it will do minus 1. So if I is non-zero, it would get converted to 1. And if I is 0, it will remain 0. So it is just some stupid code. But yeah, so if the number of children is equal to the maximum value, then my answer is ans plus 1. And if I don't get anything, like if all the children have less than that, if all the nodes have less than that number of children, then I'll print the ans. Right? So is the code clear? Like I will tell you why this minimum is tight. Like I'll explain how to solve it in operations like these. Like if like I'll tell you why the answer is correct, but do you understand why the answer has to be at least this much? Like okay, I will explain later that how do you construct the operations to do this, but do you understand why do you understand that this is at least correct? Like this is correct. Do you understand why this is correct? And do you understand the code? If you have some doubt, I solved 5. Am I good? Like, is this rage bait? Okay, so just so people understand this, what about the others? So, do others have the doubt? Like, I mean, except for the fact that why it is a tight constraint. But do you understand why it is a loose constraint? Like right now, I am at home, but I study in a college. That is right. Okay. Anyways, so I guess you guys got it. Why the answer is at least that much, right? But now I will show you that how to implement it, how to implement the operations. Okay. So I will show it using a tree. And actually, the entire thing is implementation only. Like there is no logic to it. Like the logic is very simple. Okay. So let's say I make a tree. Let's say I make this tree, or should I color it on this one only? Okay, I'll use this one only. I'll select this and paste it somewhere else. Okay. So I have this tree, and I want to like basically color all of this black using the operations. So let's say that for my implementation, I maintain an array. Okay, like if I have n nodes, I will keep an array of size n. Let's say int turn, int turn of n, and basically turn of I would describe that in which move will I color the ith node. Okay, like turn of I. Let's say if turn of I is 0, that means in the first move I am coloring I. Okay, if it is 1, then in second move I am coloring I. Okay, and so on. So like basically in same move we cannot color two elements at same depth, right? And also in same move, I cannot color two elements which are neighbors, correct? So basically, I can interpret that as like I am assigning some number to the turn of I for every I. And I want to ensure that for nodes in the same depth, I am assigning different numbers. Like I am assigning different numbers, right? And also the number of each node is different from its parent, right? Like I just have to assign numbers to each node such that for every node, um, in the same level, I assign different numbers, and also every node's number should be different from its parent, right? And also I have to ensure that I use the least number of numbers. Like in this case, the answer is 3, right? So I can only use 0, 1, or 2, right? So I have to use the least number of numbers. So how do I do that? That is the question. So in this tree, let's try to make it like I'll assign it numbers from 0, 1, and 2. Okay. So let's say to the root I assign 0, or I'll use yellow. So I assign 0 here. Then I have these two nodes, 2 and 3, or I don't need number them. So in the root I'll assign 0. Then for these two nodes, um, they have to be different from each other, and they have to be different from 0 as well, right? They cannot be 0 and they cannot be the same. So I'll have to assign 1 and 2, right? Then on these three nodes I'll have to assign something. So I can't assign like 1 here, okay, and I can't assign 2 here, but also I can't assign, like basically I have 0, 1, and 2, right? I have 0, 1, and 2 to assign, and also I have 3 nodes here. So how do I assign numbers? So what I can simply do is I can give this a 2 and give this thing 0, let's say, and this thing a 1. Okay. Then, okay, actually, for this tree, the answer is not 3, it is 4, right? Because for this node, all the children are same. Like, maximum number of nodes in a depth is 3. And this node has 3 children in its subtree, right? So that's why the answer is 4 actually. The answer is 4. So we can use 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. This is also allowed. So we could use 3 here as well. Like, doesn't matter, we can use 2 here. But okay, we can use 3 as well. So here we have 0 as the parent. So I'll have to use 1, 2, and 3. And then for this node, let's say I use 0 and 1, right? So this is how I can color a tree. So this is one possible coloring. And then I'll just print the answer. Like I'll just print the nodes we have first. The nodes we have number 0. So like this one, and this one I'll color first. Then I'll color this 1, 1, 1, and 1. Then I'll color this 2, this 2, and this 2. Right? That's how you can do this. But now the main question is, how do we color? Like, what's the algorithm for coloring? So even that is not very tough. Like you can simply follow something that I did subconsciously right now. Like what I did here was I started from the top, right? I started coloring from the top, and um, kind of I did a BFS. Like I assigned this 0, right? So this level is done. Then I color this level, and then this level, and then this level, and then this level. So why am I doing it? Why I am doing it level wise is because at each level I need every node to be different, right? Like I have a constraint on each level, so I am doing it level wise, so that like while I am filling this level, I ensure that I don't fill duplicate values, right? That is one constraint. So first I fill this level, which is 0. Then I fill these two nodes using this information. Like one constraint is that I need uh, the elements should be distinct here, right? But one more constraint is that I also need these these two nodes to be to not be same with their parent. So actually, I just need the information of the last layer. Like if I am coloring, let's say this layer, then I only need to know that what I colored in the last layer, because uh, I cannot have an edge between this one and this one, right? I can only have edge between the layer I and layer I minus one, right? So when I'm coloring the layer I can use the colors of I can use the information of layer I minus one. But how do I color it exactly? So I have a simple algorithm for that. Okay, like let's say just a minute. Okay, so let's say I have a tree. Let's say I am coloring this level right now. Like the current level has 6 nodes, and I'm trying to color it. And so let's say in the above level, like this is level I. So at level I minus one, these 3 nodes are the children of level this node. Then these 2 nodes are children of this node, and this one node is child of this node. Okay, like I am only drawing these two levels here. There might be in like there will be more nodes up here, but I'm not drawing it. Okay, I am only focusing on these two layers, right? So let's say I have colored them in some color. Let's say I have colored this in 2, 3, and 4, right? So I need to color these nodes such that there are no nodes which have the same color as the parent, right? So like I just want to ensure that these 3 nodes don't have color 2, these 2 nodes don't have color 3, and this node doesn't have color 4, right? But I also want to fill all of these colors. Like I also want to ensure that all of the nodes have different colors, right? Like I want that these 3 nodes should not have color 2, these two should not have color 3, and this should not have color 4. But someone should have, right? Like if I want that these three should not have color 2, then I can just give it to this one. Like what I'll do is I can give this one color 2. Then if I want that these two should not have color 3, I'll just give this one the color 3. And if I want that this one should not have color 4, I'll simply give this one the color 4. And I'm doing this because I want to use all the colors. Like if I don't want 2 here, I'll keep it somewhere else. Okay, and if I don't want 3 here, I'll keep it somewhere else, because I want to make sure that all of these are distinct, right? And also that I use the minimum number of different colors, so I can only use the number between 0 to 5. So this 2, 3, and 4, if I'm already using, why don't I use it one more time? So I simply shift it one position to the right. Okay, like basically I just give this one the 2, like because these 3 are 2s, so I'll give this one the 2. These 2 are children of 3, so I'll give this one 3, and since this one is a child of 4, I'll give this one as 4, right? But now so I have done this, and now for the remaining nodes I can just give them new numbers, because I have already used 2, 3, and 4. So I will use new numbers. Let's say I give this 0, I give this one 1, and this one as 5, right? So that is what I will do. Like so, this is how I can get the coloring of this layer. And between 0 to 5, I have used the numbers, right? So like my algorithm is that if I have these 6 nodes, what I am doing is I am coloring the, like in my code, if you will see, what I am doing is I am iterating over all of these nodes from left to right. Then for this node, the parent is 2, right? So I color this one 2. Like when I am here, I color this one 2. Like see, if I'm at node I or node J, let's say, in level I am at node J. So what I'll do is I will do node of I comma J plus 1, like the color or the turn of node I comma j plus 1, I'll assign it to the turn of parent of node I comma j. So like I assign this to 2. Then I go here and I assign this to 2 as well, the parent of this. Then I go here and I assign this one to 2, right? So basically, ideally it should have been 2 to 2 like this, but I just shifted this to the right. So it becomes uh, 2 to 2 like this. Then 3 3 here becomes 3 3 here, and the 4 here becomes 4 here. So after doing this, I simply replace the elements which are same as their parent to a new number. Like in this layer, I have used 2, 3, and 4, right? So 0, 1, and 5 they are left, and so I will replace the identical numbers like this 2 and this 2. They are child and parent, right? So I will replace this 2 with a 0. I replace this 2 with a 1, and this 3 with a 5. That is my algorithm. Okay. And if you follow this, then the case where the there's only a single parent, like this single node has all children in this level, this case will also be handled automatically. So that's how you can implement this problem. To add one, what I'm checking is, like, see, what I said was, I said that let's use this the same tree. I said that the answer is maximum nodes among all the levels, right? So like one, two, three, three, two, right? So the maximum number of nodes in a level is 3, right? So we need at least 3 moves, because in one move we can only color one node of a certain level, right? But actually you can see that this node has all of its 3 children. Like the maximum the maximum value is 3, right? And the number of children of this node is also 3. That means that this level, which has 3 nodes, has only a common single parent. Like all of these 3 nodes have the same parent, right? So um, like you cannot color these 4 nodes in 3 moves, because you cannot color any two of these nodes in the same move. So you will need one more extra move for this node. Okay. So if there's any node, the condition is that if there is any node having mx children, having mx children, then we will do +1. Okay. Answers for days m is what I'm doing. Great. I'm not comparing ans less than equal to mid. I'm comparing ans less than equal to m. I have, like, m is the input. M is the input variable. My m and mid are different variables. Mid is called mid, and the input is m. Now it feels so simple. Yeah, it is kind of simple only. So I'll show the code for D2. and maybe you will understand how to do it. So yeah, what I did was, um, I just stored the nodes level wise. Like in level 0, what are the nodes? In level 1, what are the nodes? Level 2, what are the nodes? Level 3 nodes? Level 4 nodes, right? So I stored it in a vector of vector. Okay. So I have this nodes vector of vector, which stores the nodes level wise and from left to right. Okay. Like all the nodes having same parent are together in this vector of vector. Okay. So I just do a BFS and populate these nodes and depth and parent, right? Then turn of n. So this is my final answer. Like this is the number that I'm assigning to to every node. So for int I equal to 1, I less than I plus plus. Um, so like I iterate from the levels. Like I iterate over the levels. Like the first level, which is this one. Like okay, on the root I just assign 0. So by default in this turn vector there is a zeros filled, so I don't need to do that. So by default it is 0 on the root, and then from this first level I start. So for each level um, I have this set S contains the colors which I have not yet used in the level I. Okay, so I will insert the colors from 0 to nodes dot size plus 1, because that is the maximum colors that I might require in this layer, right? Then again for every node I just do color of j plus 1. I'll assign it to color of parent of j, right? Okay, and also I will erase it from the set. Like I have used it in the current layer, so I'll erase it. And then again I'll iterate over all the nodes, and if the color of x is color of parent of x, then I'll change it to a new color, right? So by this for loop I have all the colors, and then I'll just print it in the format that they require. Like they require what? They require the one by one we have to print this, right? That in the first operation we are doing 5 nodes, then 4 nodes, then 4 nodes, like that. So I just printed that in that way. Okay, that is not an issue. So should be fine. So do you get this D2 now? Hmm. Okay. Thanks, Robin. Okay, so I guess I'll move on to E now. Um, so E is called LCM is a legendary counting master. You are given a sequence A of length n and a positive integer m. Each element is an integer in the range 0 to m. A sequence A is considered good if and only if the following conditions hold: a1 less than a2 less than a up to an, and 1 upon LCM of a1 a2 plus LCM of a1 a2 a3 up to LCM of n minus 1 an plus 1 upon LCM of an comma a1 is greater than equal to 1. You need to replace all zeros in A with integers from the range 1 to m. Calculate the number of different ways to replace the zeros such that the resulting sequence A is good. Got minus 7 today. I think I got more negative. Let's see. I got minus 2. Oh, nice. Anyways, so yeah, what I'm saying is this problem is that they are saying that an array, an array A given is good. Let's say A1, A2, A3 up to AN is good if they are all positive integers, like greater than equal to 1, AI greater than equal to 1, and like A1 less than A2 less than A3 up to less than AN, like it has to be increasing, one condition. And second condition is that 1 upon LCM, basically I'll use summation notation, summation from I equal to 1 to n minus 1 of 1 upon LCM of AI comma AI plus 1 plus LCM of AN comma A1 should be greater than equal to 1. Okay, this is the condition that the array is good. Okay, so we have to count the number of different arrays, different good arrays, if we can replace the zeros with a number that we want, like the number of different ways to replace zeros with a number, right? Okay, so I thought about this problem for quite a lot of time, and like I did not try to simplify this expression, like this thing right here. I didn't try to simplify it. I just tried to apply some DP on it or try to solve it computationally, but I did not think of applying math, and that is where I went wrong, because we just have to simplify the expression, because this expression is too complicated. Like this thing right here, it is actually too complicated to analyze. So actually, we have to simplify this thing. Okay. And one more thing to notice is that since this array elements are given to be increasing, like yeah, this a1 less than a2 less than a3 less than an is given, right? So let's think about what is the order of this quantity. Like see, um, let's say let's try to calculate that what is the like around what value is this quantity. Like we want it to be at least one, right? But what if it is only in decimals? Like see, what I'm saying is I can write this as, I can write it like, see, LCM of AB is what? LCM of AB is A into B upon GCD of AB, right? So I can write this expression like A1 A2 divided by GCD, or actually 1 upon LCM, right? So GCD upon A1 A2. So GCD of A1 A2, A1 comma A2 upon A1 A2. And similarly, I can write that the other terms as well. So I can like multiply the denominator to the right hand side. So what I will get is like GCD of A1 A2 into A3 up to AN plus GCD of A2 A3 into A4 up to AN and A1 plus and so on, like GCD of AN comma A1 into A2 A3 up to AN minus 1, and this should be greater than equal to A1 A2 up to AN. Like this is the expression. If I convert the LCM into GCD and multiply the denominator, then I'll get this. Okay, like this is GCD of A1 A2 upon A1 A2 plus GCD of A2 A3 upon A2 A3. So I just multiplied this by A1 A2 up to AN, right? So here A1 A2 gets cancelled and only A3 till AN is left. For this term, this is left, right? And so on. So like um, what we have here is that we have a3 till an, a4 till a1, and so on. So like we have n terms in the addition, right? And we have a product right here. Like these are n numbers in product, right? So like this is um, a1 a2 up to an, right? So like I can say that it is order of m to the power n, right? Like because these ai values they are till m, right? So it is around m to the power m to the power n, I mean, right? But here we have only n minus 2 numbers, right? So this is around um, m to the power n minus 2, right? And this GCD can be up till m, right? Like GCD of two numbers is less than equal to both of those numbers, right? So it is definitely less than equal to m. So I can say that this gives me at least like at most O of m component. So O of m I get from here, and m to the power n minus 2 I get from here. So single term is around m to the power n minus 1, right? And I have n terms, so it becomes multiplied by n, right? So approximately like both these sides, they are this is m to the power n minus 1 into n, and this is m to the power n. So like both of these sides, they are approximately of the same order, right? But only if this GCD is O of m. Like if I get enough value from my GCD, only then will I be able to ensure that both sides have equal quantity. Okay, like this is the main idea here, that this GCD of two numbers can be very small as well, right? Like if I take GCD of two large numbers, let's say 1000 and 1001, so their GCD is just one, right? So even though I have two big numbers, I might have a very small GCD, and that might mess up over, like that might mess us, because we want this quantity to be greater than equal to the RHS, right? So I want that the GCD should be a nice big quantity, right? But so like I thought about this for a while, but this did not lead me anywhere. Okay, so actually what I had to think about is that okay, like even if I get the GCD enough conveniently, like what I'm saying is, even if I get O of m from this GCD, like from all the GCDs I get O of m, then also this is around equal order only, like m to the power n minus 1 into n, and this is m to the power n, right? And these numbers are actually not even all m, right? Like since a1 less than a2 less than up to an is given, so these starting numbers are actually quite less, right? So it is not even m to the power n, it is even smaller than that. So like my point is that this range is very particular. Like actually I don't know how to give the intuition of this. Like I have the mathematical proof of this question, like how to solve this, but I don't really know how to come up with it unless you have solved JE type problems. Like if you are someone who is a fresher, a first year, let's say, then I think this problem would be easier for you as compared to someone who has had some time giving JE. Okay, so actually you can make this sum as a telescoping series. Like you can actually convert this sum into a telescoping series. Okay, like actually what I'll try to do is I'll try to find an upper limit for this sum. Okay, like I will try to find out that what is the upper limit for this sum, and then we will try to do something further. Okay. So we have 1 upon LCM of A1 A2, right? Like one term of this sum is 1 upon LCM of, let's say, A comma B, or let's say X comma Y. Okay. So like I can write 1 upon LCM of X comma Y as XY upon GCD of XY, GCD of X comma Y upon XY, right? I can write this, and also I know that Y is greater than X, right? Y is greater than X. So this GCD of XY, I can write this as GCD of X comma Y minus X, right? This is the Euclid's formula, right? So this quantity, like this GCD of X comma Y minus X, of course this is definitely less than equal to Y minus X, right? This GCD of X comma Y minus X is definitely less than equal to Y minus X, because obviously, right? Because GCD of two numbers is less than both the numbers. So we can write this expression right here. So this 1 upon LCM of xy, 1 upon LCM of x comma y is less than equal to this quantity right here, which is 1 upon x minus 1 upon y. Okay, this is the main idea here. So for the first time I can write, like, I can write that 1 upon LCM of a1 comma a2 is less than equal to 1 upon a1 minus 1 upon a2. Then I can write that 1 upon LCM of a2 comma a3 is less than equal to 1 upon a2 minus 1 upon a3. Then I can write that 1 upon LCM of a3 comma a4 is less than equal to 1 upon a3 minus 1 upon a4. And I can write this until an, like 1 upon LCM of an minus 1 comma an is less than equal to 1 upon an minus 1 upon an minus 1, right? So if I just add all of these up, like I have these n minus 1 inequalities, right? I have these inequalities, that is 1 upon LCM is less than 1 upon a1 minus 1 upon a2. So if I just add these, right, then you can see that minus 1 upon a2 plus 1 upon a2 cancels, minus 1 upon a3 plus 1 upon a3 gets cancelled, and it is getting cancelled in this pattern, right? So finally only 1 upon an, and okay, actually I wrote this wrong. It is 1 upon an minus 1 minus 1 upon an, right? So it's cancelled this way. So only 1 upon a1 minus 1 upon an is remaining, right? And on the LHS we have the sum. So sum till n minus 1 only, not n. Like the last term I did not write due to some reasons. Okay, because in the last term we don't have that x is less than y, right? So yeah, I'll write this 1 upon LCM of a1 a2 up to 1 upon LCM of an minus 1 comma an, that this quantity is less than equal to 1 upon a1 minus 1 upon an, right? And in the problem we have this extra term as well, right? 1 upon LCM of an comma a1. So in our problem the sum is plus 1 upon LCM of an comma a1. So if I add it on the LHS, I'll add it on the right hand side as well. So on the right hand side I add this LCM 1 upon LCM of an comma a1. Okay, so basically, if I call this sum as s, like this sum right here, if I call this s, then I have established, like I have proven that is s is less than equal to 1 upon a1 minus 1 upon an plus 1 upon LCM of an comma a1, right? S is less than equal to this, right? But I also want that in my problem they are saying that s should be greater than equal to 1. S should be greater than equal to 1, right? So actually, if you see, this quantity can only go up to 1. Like if s is less than equal to this, and if I want s to be at least 1, actually if you look at this carefully, um, if my a1, let's say the value of my a1 is 1, okay, so LCM of an comma a1 would be an, so this would get cancelled and I would be left with 1, right? So if my a1 is 1, then this quantity is 1, right? And if my a1 is more than 1, okay, then this fraction would be less than 1, right? Let's say if a1 is 2, then this fraction would be 1 by 2. And also, if I have minus 1 upon an here, and I will have plus 1 upon something more than an, like greater than equal to an, greater than equal to an. Like this LCM of an comma a1 would be greater than equal to an. And so these terms would, like either it would be 0 or it would be negative, right? So like my point is that if a1 is something greater than 1, like if my a1 is 1, then I get 1 for this s, like this value would be 1. And if I get um, if I put a1 to be something greater than 1, then this value is even smaller, right? But since I want, okay, so since this s is less than equal to that, I have to have a1 equal to 1. Like if I don't have a1 equal to 1, let's say if I have a1 as 2, then this sum is definitely less than equal to half. It is definitely less than equal to 1 by 2. Like if I put a1 as 2, then no matter what else I put in the other values, this sum will definitely be less than equal to half. Okay. Um, but I want that this sum is greater than equal to 1, right? So I'll have to put a1 as 1. A1 equal to 1. Okay. Uh, yeah. Sorry about that. So I'll have to put a1 as 1. Now let's say if we have a1 equal to 1, then what will happen is, like this value would become 1, right? So we saw that s is less than equal to 1 from this inequality. But we want in the problem, we want that s should be greater than equal to 1. So therefore, the only possible value is that s is equal to 1. Okay. And what is the condition for that? Like when will we get s equal to 1? That will happen if and only if um, this is satisfied. Like basically s is equal to 1 will happen um, if yeah s is equal to 1 will happen if and only if all of these inequalities are actually equalities, right? Like you saw here that my sum is this one, right? Like my sum is this one, 1 upon LCM of a1 a2, 1 upon LCM of a2 a3 a3 a4 up to n minus 1 an. And I showed you that all of these quantities are less than equal to, like this quantity is less than equal to 1 upon a1 minus 1 upon a2, then this quantity is less than equal to 1 upon a2 minus 1 upon a3. So so by this thing I proved that the sum the sum is always less than equal to 1 upon a1 minus 1 upon an. But actually now I want that it should be equal to that, right? Like here I prove that the sum is less than equal to 1, but actually I want sum exactly equal to 1. So that can only happen if all of these inequalities are at their peak. Like if these inequalities satisfy, like if it is actually equality, not inequality, then I will get my required 1 value. Okay, like I will I'll have to want, like I'll have to have LC 1 upon LCM of a1 a2 should be equal to 1 upon a1 minus 1 upon a2. Then I'll have to have 1 upon LCM of a2 comma a3 should be equal to 1 upon a2 minus 1 upon a3. So basically, to have my sum equal to 1, I'll have to have a1 as 1, and also I'll have to have all of these inequalities to be equalities. Okay, like for every I, I will want that my 1 upon ai minus 1 upon ai minus 1, I mean ai plus 1, should be equal to 1 upon LCM of ai comma ai plus 1. Okay, and now so this is what I have to solve. Like if this is satisfied, then I will get my sum equal to 1. Okay, so what is the condition for this? If I solve this, basically it's like, let's use x and y. Okay, 1 by x minus 1 by y should be equal to 1 upon LCM of x comma y. So I'll get y minus x upon xy should be equal to 1 by LCM is just GCD of xy upon xy, right? So xy gets cancelled. So I have that y minus x should be equal to the GCD of x comma y, right? And by using Euclid's algorithm, I can say that this GCD x comma y is the same as GCD of x comma y minus x. Okay. So basically, I have this condition, that is a of I plus 1 minus a of I should be equal to the GCD of a of I comma a of I plus 1 minus a of I, right? This is my condition. That this is basically saying that, actually this is saying that my a of I plus 1 minus ai should be a factor. Like if I call this k, just let's say this is k. Okay, so basically k is equal to GCD of ai comma k, right? So um, if I want this to be satisfied, then k should be a factor of ai. Okay, that is the thing. So basically, the difference, the ai plus 1 minus ai, should be a factor of ai. Okay, so basically, the final condition that we got from this equation is that uh, yeah, the final condition is that a1 should be equal to 1. That's the first condition. And second condition is that a of I plus 1 minus ai should be a factor of ai. Okay, so these two conditions are necessary sufficient conditions for these two conditions. Okay, so if we want to count the number of arrays which satisfy these two conditions, we can just count the number of arrays satisfying these two conditions, and it will be fine. Okay, so to count this, that is pretty simple. Like, can you guys tell me how to count this? Akshat, I'm not really sure about this because I have never sat in placements, so I cannot comment on that. Yeah, so the final condition for my array is that a1 is equal to 1, and ai minus 1, a of I plus 1 minus ai should be a factor of ai for all I. So how do you like count the number of arrays which can be made using this condition? Can you guys tell me? Like basically, the value of ai plus 1, like the possible values of ai plus 1 only depends on ai, right? Like I just have to choose a difference which is a factor of ai. So the values of ai plus 1 don't depend on the previous values, only ai it depends on. So I can just make a dp state that what was my last value, right? Like my dpij can be dp of ij can be the number of valid arrays of length I, of length I, and last element j, right? So this would be n into m dp, and n into m would work because nm are given to be 3000. And basically from dpij, like dpij means you have an array of length I and last number is j. So you can transition from dpij to dp of I plus 1 comma j plus x, where x is a divisor of j, right? So you can iterate over all divisors of j and transition like this. Okay, and simply you can use push dp. Like dpij denotes the number of valid arrays, right? So you can simply do dp of I plus 1 comma j plus x plus equals to dp of I comma j. Like all the arrays which end in j and have length I, you can append j plus x at the end of them and get a new array of length j plus 1, I plus 1, and last element j plus x. So you can do this transition. And finally, the answer is just the sum of all dp's. Okay. So I think this should be pretty clear. Like I don't really know how to explain how to come up with it, but the solution should be pretty clear. All right. I'll show the code. So first of all, if a0 is greater than 1, then say out 0 because a0 has to be 1. Then I have this dp of n comma n plus 1. And also I'm showing the divisors of each number. Like divs of I stores the divisors of I. Okay. Because I want to transition in efficiently. Like the time for transitioning is the average number of divisors, right? So I want to do it efficiently. So like I'm just doing this. For I equal to 0, I less than n minus 1, I plus plus. J equal to 1, j less than equal to m, j plus plus. For x in divisor of j, I can move from dpij to dpi plus 1, x plus j. And I can only do that if this x plus j, like if either a of I plus 1 is x plus j or it is 0, right? Like because at some positions the value is fixed, right? So on that we don't push the dp value for the other numbers, right? So this is what we can do, and final answer would be the sum of all dp values for all m, right? And print answer. So I think it should be pretty clear. And okay, I guess it should be all right. So yeah, I'll take your leave then if you have no doubts. So thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.